Hello. Do you sometimes find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do because you're terrified of saying no, and in fact you find yourself just pleasing people because you don't want to enter into any kind of conflict? If this is you, stay tuned, because I'm going to try and explain this for you and give you some tips of how you can overcome this. Hi, Kim here, chartered psychologist. In this video I'm going to look and explore the links between lack of assertiveness, passive behaviour and high levels of anxiety. Now, why might this be, you wonder? Why might you feel more anxious if you're not able to say no to things? Well, this could be that when you meet certain people or when certain people call you up, you know that there is going to be a potential conflict because they're going to ask you to do something which you would normally just say, yes, okay, even though you don't want to. And so your level of anxiety starts to actually rise. You might feel your heart rate increasing, you're becoming a little bit sweaty, you're just becoming agitated, and whatever, you just don't want to be there. You just do not want to be speaking to this person because you find them very difficult to say no to. So because you are unable to assert yourself and to actually say what it is you want to say, you're starting to take on things which you don't have time for. And we call this distant elephants. Now I want you to think of it like this. If you think about it, a distant elephant, when elephants are in a pack and they're on the savannah and they're marauding around, they look very, very small when they're far, far away. But what happens as the elephants approach, they come nearer and nearer and nearer, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, there's this massive creature right in front of you, and that distant elephant, which was very small in the distance, is all of a sudden incredibly large. And it's so large that it's almost overpowering and overwhelming you. And this is what it can be like when you take on too many things. Because when they're in the distance, you think, that's okay, I'll pick up my friend's mum from the airport. It's 3 weeks away. I can organise myself between now and then. But as the time gets closer and closer, you find yourself getting more and more anxious because you don't want to do it. But you daren't say no. You've already committed and you're kind of in it. But you then start to feel anger and resentment building up inside of you. And this can happen with lots of small issues which you're saying yes to because you just are terrified to say no. So in these cases, what I'd like you to do is think about everything as a potential distant elephant. If you always think of it like that, you then give yourself some time. You can buy yourself some time by saying, I need to think about it. And then you need to sit down and think, is this a potential distant elephant? When this comes around, is this going to overwhelm me with everything else I've got to do and all those other things I've said yes to? And that way you can buy yourself time and hopefully can help you find a way to say, actually, no, that's not possible. And there are some techniques which you can use which can help you in this, to help you reduce your anxiety. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to do a series of what we call the mindset model of assertiveness to help you understand your lack of assertiveness and to give you some tips and tools of things that you can do to boost your assertiveness. But the first step in looking at whether or not you're being quite passive is to think about those distant elephants. And if you think about every request in these terms, before you know it, you'll be recognising them and you will be able to just buy yourself time by saying, I need to think about that, I'll let you know. I need to think about that, I'll let you know. And then you become a broken record and you just keep saying that, even though they're trying to persuade you, oh, come on, you know, it would be really helpful, you'd be really helping me out. And then almost you want to crumble at that point and just give in and say, oh, okay then. But no, you don't. You dig deep. I need to think about it, I'll let you know. I need to think about it, I'll let you know. And actually practicing that, saying it in the mirror or saying it with a friend, meeting someone and asking them to make ridiculous requests of you, things like the most ridiculous thing, like can I borrow your toothbrush? Of course you don't want to lend them your toothbrush, but the more ridiculous and the more crazy the things are, you will get used to actually batting that back to that person saying, no, you can't borrow my toothbrush, that's not possible. Or no, I'm going to think about that. And so you get used to priming that in your brain so that when it comes to it, that situation, it's not something new for you because you've been practicing saying that. So those are some simple things that you can do to start deciding whether or not you're being too passive in your communication and whether you need to be more assertive. And you may find that you're brilliantly assertive in some areas of your life and then you're just terrible in others. But this is something that which you need to find out. So remember, is it a distant elephant? What do you say? I need to think about that. I will let you know. And whatever they come back with, I understand, but I need to think about that. I'll let you know. I need to think about that. I'll let you know. So that's how you start to recognise why your levels of anxiety are rising when you're adopting a more passive position, because it's the fear inside of you that people are going to overwhelm you and that you're going to be taking on stuff you don't have time for or you just don't want to do. So stay tuned. We will, as I said, be bringing you several more videos looking at the mindset model. It's a 7-step model of what you can do to actually help yourself become more assertive. Because assertive communication will reduce anxiety and will be saving your mental health like you just wouldn't believe. So thank you for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Oh, please subscribe, comment, leave a comment if you want any more information. If you want any particular videos made about anxiety or assertiveness, just drop them in the comments and I'll be doing my best to do that for you. Thank you for your time today. Subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.